Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Reed. I am live right here outside the Francis Howell High School. This was the spot of an emotional meeting last night. That meeting stemmed from a Supreme Court ruling that allows for unaccredited students to transfer out of their unaccredited schools, and some of them will be going right here to Francis Howell High School. The number we have just learned is growing. Applications now at 400. So as we said, this is an emotional time here, and that is dividing this community.
I deserve to not have to worry about my children getting stabbed or taking a drug or getting robbed, because that's the issue.
I am totally appalled that we have now gone back to 1954.
We don't want this here in Francis Howell.
I grew up with this. I'm not going to have it for my son. So will this district send my son to a better school when this one goes down?
Don't judge my girls, my daughters, because of what these other kids go through. I don't want my kids in the school district.
Now, we should tell you that thousands of concerned parents showed up here at Francis Howell High last night. They say they do not, some of them, want these students transferring from Normandy School District to show up here on the first day of class. They do not want that. Our Emily Rao has been talking to parents today. And Emily, I know that they say they're not going to let this ride.
That's right. So much frustration here. They feel like they only got generic responses to their concerns last night at the meeting. They're upset with Francis Howell School District officials, also Normandy, and state lawmakers for allowing things to get to this point in the first place. But we know one thing's for sure, they are not stopping this fight anytime soon.
The kids cannot get caught in the crossfire.
School safety, test scores, and tax dollars. There's a long list of concerns many Francis Howell parents say have yet to be addressed.
Why are we taking unaccredited school children and moving them to accredited schools and not expecting the same thing to happen?
Andrea Stopke, a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids in the district, feels so strongly about the issue, she's now playing the role of activist.
We need to do something to change the law so we protect all of our children out here in Normandy, Riverview Gardens.
Attempting to steer this sometimes volatile discussion in a more constructive direction, Stopke started a petition to change the law that allows for the unaccredited students to cross county lines for class.
They all deserve a chance, but that's a community issue that needs to be addressed within their own community.
Jocelyn Swan's signature is on that petition.
I chose this district because it was a safe environment and a good district for my daughter, and I didn't choose for her to have to walk through metal detector.
A former teacher, Swan insists the outrage is not about race, but the well-being of her kids and the Normandy students, who are now on track for a long bus ride into a potentially tense environment.
And it's going to be shocking for them. They're going to feel unwanted and uncomfortable.
Sharon, I was surprised to learn today how many of these families I talked to, they moved to this area, this district, for the sole purpose of the school systems. They say that is why they are so protective of it and fighting to protect it. Coming up at 6, more on why they believe that they should have a stake here as taxpayers and parents.
All right, Emily, thank you. Now, as you might expect, parents of children in the Normandy district are speaking out about some of the strong comments that were made right here last night.
What do you think about the attitudes that you heard last night?
Very discriminatory.
After hearing the message that Normandy students are not wanted inside the Francis Howell district, we wanted to know, are some of the parents changing their plans to transfer to this district? Our Russell Kinsall looked into that. He spoke to parents today. Russell, what are they saying?
Sure, parents are saying that it's unfair to judge all the students in the Normandy district the same. Those parents say they won't be stopped from trying to get their kids a better education and a better life.
There's stereotyping everywhere you go. They're a little more vocal about it, but honestly, as an African American, I'm used to it.
Normandy parents are trying to take the comments at Francis Howell in stride. Enrollment began this week for students who will stay and the paperwork for those who will leave.
You can't judge a book by its cover. All kids are not the same. You can't say all the kids that go to Normandy are the same. They're not.
Khadijah Rasool says the harsh words at Francis Howell stung a little, but won't stop her from transferring her 3 children to Francis Howell. Her 12-year-old daughter wants to go to a better school, even if she's worried about how she'll be received.
Does it worry you what those parents were saying about not wanting Normandy students? Does that worry you?
Yes, but I still want another.
Normandy school officials don't know how many students will be in their buildings this fall. Already 400 have filed the paperwork to transfer, with the overwhelming attitude that they want a better education for their children and won't be stopped from getting it.
After hearing those comments, would you want your child to go to the Francis Howell School District?
I still want my child to go to the Francis Howell School District.